As a woman of color yourself, did you face any challenges as you were progressing in your career?
Well, I'm a third generation African Canadian, which means that I've had a couple of generations of my family history that have been in Canada, which actually is a bit of a rarity, in some cases. Was born and raised in Toronto and grew up in the most diverse city in the world, right? So I've seen, changes in how through my life, as from a young child to an adult, how the changes and changing community face of the community has impacted how society has been in this country. In terms of my own experience, I haven't been a person to be fixated from a career perspective on constraints to my career as a result, as an outcome of my color, or as being a woman for that matter. So early days of I came into nursing in the 70s, late 70s, and it was pretty much a totally female dominated career, working in a bubble of male dominated physician based healthcare, hospital administrators, that kind of thing. I've chosen in my career not to see those barriers to my own career. So if there was an opportunity, as we were talking about, to move into a teaching position, or to apply for a director's position, or I didn't look at the barriers to that. I just looked at the opportunities and moved past that. I'm not naive. There is racism, and it exists in all levels of our society, including in healthcare, and some of those opportunities may or may not have been colored by decisions by people made about whether or not I was the right person for the job on the basis of my skin color, but it wasn't something that I personally fixated on. When I would talk to younger people about racism that exists and their own career choices, I would always say that as well. You find your inner confidence, you find a means of knowing what you are capable of doing, and bust through any of those concerns that you might have about whether you will or will not get a position, or whether or not that person is judging you. You move past that. And I'm not saying that to play down or even to lead people to believe that there aren't going to be circumstances where that is very blatant and it's very palpable for young people in terms of trying to find opportunities. But we can change the world one person at a time, one piece at a time, and you can affect only what you do. And so I would see that as sort of really strong and wise advice. Just focus on what your capabilities and your opportunities, and as a CEO and a senior director and a manager in many different settings, I am always impressed with people who have that level of confidence about themselves, that sense of themselves that they can do it, who and it's not cockiness, it's self-confidence and determination and self-directedness, and I think that has definitely helped me, and I think would be sort of good advice to others.
Yeah, I love your perspective, because it speaks so strongly to mindset. What is that mindset that you have for yourself, and how much confidence do you have in your own abilities, in your own self, right?
Exactly. I mean, if you don't have that, you're certainly not. Others can't give that
Right.
to you. And I mean, a lot of people would say, well, what can I do? I'm not a confident person. I do think there are opportunities to work on it. I wouldn't, that old saying, fake it till you make it kind of perspective isn't always easy to do, but there are lots and lots of ways of developing that, lots of self-development that could be done on that. And if, it is, to me, the single most powerful tool in the arsenal of moving yourself forward in career choices.